Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. As you may have seen on some of my social media, I went back home to North Wales for a little break. My sister was kind enough to book a trip for me with her and my niece and nephew for the day, and the first stop is right down on the Menai Straits. It's called HALEN. It's right next to the sea zoo, and let me tell you, HALEN makes some of the best sea salt on the planet. The sea zoo was originally built way back when, many years ago. I remember going there as a school child on our days out, and eventually they opened up the sea salt making factory out the back of the sea zoo, and they've extended to what it is now with a visitor center and a shop, and it is a real treat. If you're not from the area, I highly recommend going when you do go up there. The tour was really good. It was very informative. Some of the stuff I'd already known and some I didn't. The guy that took us around on the day was Lewis, and yeah, it was amazing. So this place each year makes 100 tons of sea salt. As you'll see in a minute when we go inside, they have 18 tanks that has a brine solution at a temperature that we're not allowed to know, and at a salt solution that we're not allowed to know as well. Here we go. You can see some of the salt there resting now, just drying out. They get 10 trays like that from each tank every day. So that is 180 trays a day. They vacuum boil all of their water to get it to temperature, and by doing so, they actually cut down their carbon footprint, and they can boil it at 20 degrees lower, so it actually takes less time and less expenditure. The room that you're seeing there now, that is always set at 40 degrees inside, so it is a very hot room. Like I said before, the brine and the water heat is a secret. They can pump 25,000 liters of water from the Menai Straits per day, and that is... Menai Straits is the second fastest flowing body of water in the world. We had a little tasting afterwards, and then as soon as we finished the tasting, we shot straight up to LLYNON Mill. Now, LLYNON Mill is the only surviving windmill in Wales. It was built in 1775, and it was restored by the council in the 1980s, and in 2019, a native by the name of Richard Holt took it over. And Richard Holt is, if any chef knows anybody, he was Marcus Waring's head pastry chef for a number of years. And he actually came back, finished restoring and reopening the mill to save it from closure back in 2019. And he now sells MONUTS. Now, MONUTS are the best donuts you will find, definitely in the local area, further afield most probably, and in the UK, I mean, damn, it will give most donuts a run for their money. All made on site, flour from the mill, and yeah, they are just absolutely delicious. They are massive as well. You will see in a minute just how big these things are in relation to my hand. It is a big donut. You cannot get your chops around it in one go. I certainly tried and failed. So there we go. I mean, it is basically the size of my head. And yeah, I mean, these are fluffy. They're not oily at all. They are sweet without being overly sweet. I went for the hazelnut and chocolate. The hazelnut inside, it just tasted like a giant Ferrero Rocher. So on the grounds of the mill, you can walk into the base of the mill, as you can see here, and look around. And they also do a safari for the kids, and obviously for the big kids like myself. So I think it was £7.50 per adult, and you go into the grounds, you get to go around the windmill, and then you go into their grounds out the back, and they've got a load of grass area. They have a couple of old school reconstructed houses with inside a look of how they would have lived, how they would have worked years ago. I do believe at busier periods and bank holidays, they used to have displays going on there. A friend of mine used to actually work there as a blacksmith. So they do put on displays to show people how they would have worked, what they would have made. And it's great for, obviously, younger children to kind of learn. And again, for people like myself, you know, I learned a lot of things while I was here. And sort of, for instance, the mezzanine areas at the back. Most of the time you see a reconstruction of these places, it's just all ground based. However, they believe they possibly put the mezzanines there, whether that people would sleep up on the mezzanines and the animals obviously would come in the evening. Now it's all speculation. But this is the safari, so they have a load of fiberglass animals. You get a big piece of paper with all the animals that are in the park, and you just walk around and try and find them and cross them all off. Again, this is great fun if you do have children, and it killed a good hour as we walked around. Some of them are quite well hidden. Some of them obviously as clear as anything as you're walking around the path. Others are a little bit more hidden. And then we stumbled across here the old bakery from the mill way back when, and they still have the ruins. The back left there, that would be the oven. As you can see my finger pointing, that's where the oven would have been. Obviously that is not the oven that cooked our donuts. That is in a separate area. But yeah, it was nice that they had kept the ruins, and obviously if you pause that there is an old recipe for currant bread. And yeah, we carried on hunting for the animals. You can see, like here, I sort of dive into the heavy hedgerow, almost like I'm heading into a David Attenborough story, as he is there stalking his prey, looking intently at. Any guesses? You've got a few more seconds. There we go. It is zebras. So again, like I say, they're sort of hidden in the brush and into the trees, and it all opens out. And yeah, it's just a great day out. I'm so glad that I got to go home, see the family. I know this is a bit of a different video to what you guys get normally with a lot of food and eating, but obviously I was home. I was taking a little bit of time for myself. However, I thought HALEN, Sea Salt and LLYNON Mill are two amazing food producers that are using the local produce and using like the old mills and things like that to bring food and sustainability to the area, and it was just wonderful. So I strongly recommend, if you go up to Anglesey, to give it a check. And yeah, I'll see you again soon.